how these farmers transformed the Australia's desert. Inspiring the nation with their ability to persevere through difficulties and creatively tackle age-old issues, they defied all expectations. They never abandoned their dreams, uncover their hidden strategies, and breakthrough irrigation techniques to understand the unspoken relationship between man and soil that fueled their exceptional success. So, let's begin how the farmers have transformed the Australian deserts. The hard work of farmers has caused extraordinary changes in Australia's extensive desert regions. The temperature is severe and water is limited. These hard-working farmers have toiled extensively to change arid landscapes into fertile farmland. In the midst of adversities, such as a harsh climate, limited water resources, and inadequate soil productivity, they devised original approaches and conquered these difficulties. To conserve water, they are utilizing drip irrigation and other advanced methods while also accessing subsurface reservoirs. Soil enrichment techniques and organic farming technologies have been applied. The farmers encountered several challenges while transforming Australia's desert into productive farmland. The sweltering heat and dry air of the desert posed a significant challenge. Traditional farming techniques encountered difficulties in the extreme heat due to the scarcity of rainfall and high evaporation rates. The shortage of water supplies presented yet another major obstacle. The major problem of water scarcity in the desert makes farming impossible without it. The farmers must think of creative solutions for managing and conserving water. The implementation of drip irrigation systems, which deliver water straight to plant roots instead of the soil, took place. In addition, they explored means of meeting their water demands by drilling wells, drawing from underground reserves, and utilizing aquifers. The farmers also faced challenges regarding soil fertility. Soil in the desert usually lacks organic matter and nutrients, which makes it challenging for plants to grow there. The farmers switched to organic farming methods and took action to enhance soil quality. These methods utilize organic fertilizers and compost. Contour plowing and growing cover crops were also practiced as soil conservation methods. The farmers had to generate creative concepts and persist through difficult circumstances. They laid the groundwork for a successful agricultural transition in the desert by effectively managing water resources and creating techniques to battle the severe climate. They improved soil fertility as well. Australia's farmers in the dry interior employed innovative methods to tackle the challenge of scarce water. They utilized novel methods for handling water. One of their main tools was drip irrigation. These techniques are much more efficient than traditional irrigation methods, which involve flooding a whole field with water. This technology ensures that plants obtain enough water while substantially decreasing water waste. The farmers were also capable of acquiring water underground. Bringing underground water to the surface involved drilling wells and tapping into aquifers. Their dependence on surface water for agriculture was reduced by using this aquifer water. Their water management initiatives heavily depended on collecting and storing rainwater. They have mechanisms in place to collect rain when it does rain in the desert. To store water for use in droughts, tanks or reservoirs were employed. The farmers reduced water waste and increased efficiency through the employment of these cutting-edge water management strategies. These practices enabled them to utilize the scarce water supplies in the desert effectively. They assured the ongoing existence and productivity of their crops. By using mulching and cover cropping, farmers can improve soil quality through these two proven methods. Covering soil with an organic layer, typically made of straw or leaves, was the practice of mulching. This assisted in inhibiting weed development, managing soil temperature, and maintaining moisture. During fallow times, cover cropping involved sowing specific crops known as cover crops. This is how leguminous cover crops like this prevent soil erosion and supply nitrogen to the ground. Their conservation efforts included stopping soil erosion. To combat the erosion of topsoil, farmers employed several approaches. Furrows are formed along the land's natural contours using contour plowing, reduced water runoff and prevented erosion. By employing terracing, steps or levels were constructed on slopes to slow down water runoff and prevent soil erosion. In the beginning, farmers focused their attention on locating and giving priority to top crop cultivators that could resist drought. These plant types that are resistant to drought use significantly less water compared to traditional ones. Farmers optimize their likelihood of achieving harvest success by giving attention to crops that prosper in dry climates. The farmers started utilizing indigenous plants in their activities. Native plants in a region have evolved specifically to thrive in its weather and soil. The incorporation of these species into crop rotations and other agricultural practices enabled farmers to utilize the species' natural resistance to environmental stresses. Their crops' overall health and productivity were improved by this. The native vegetation of the desert aided in sustaining a thriving ecosystem and a varied plant community. They additionally employed techniques of crop rotation and diversification. Farmers relied on various types of crops instead of depending on just one. This method reduces disease transmission, enhances soil health, and utilizes resources to their full potential. To overcome space and water limitations, the farmers explored new approaches like hydroponics and vertical growing. They managed to cultivate crops in regulated settings by utilizing these techniques. They made more efficient use of available resources and were able to work around some of the obstacles presented by the desert environment. By selecting and adjusting crops specifically for the desert environment, farmers were able to establish agricultural systems that could prosper in the desert. This approach guaranteed food production while also encouraging resilience and sustainability despite adversity. The development of technology and infrastructure greatly aided the farmers' transformation of the Australian desert. They utilized innovative approaches to tackle the hardships presented by the desert. The installation of high-tech weather stations was one part of their strategy. These technologies helped the farmers keep better tabs on the weather, temperature, and humidity. By paying attention to these indicators, they can make knowledgeable choices about watering, controlling pests, and deciding when to plant and harvest. The use of renewable energy sources was incorporated into their agricultural practices. Energy for the farm's irrigation systems, machinery, and other uses is obtained from solar panels and wind turbines. The reduction in the need for non-renewable energy sources was advantageous to the environment. The formation of mandatory infrastructure was also vital. For optimal conditions, farmers erected greenhouses and shade structures to cultivate their crops. Shade structures decreased evaporation rates and offered shelter, while greenhouses shielded plants from extreme weather conditions, wind, and pests. These buildings facilitated the growth of vegetables, even during severe desert winters. The farmers purchased new machinery and tools in addition. This was done by utilizing sophisticated irrigation networks, mechanized seeding and harvesting equipment, and other precision agriculture tools. By reducing the need for labor and improving efficiency, these advancements have increased productivity. By utilizing technology, farmers were able to adjust better to the desert conditions. They also developed the infrastructure they needed. The positive effects of these innovations on sustainability, resource conservation, and resiliency in the face of adversity led to improved agricultural output. The farmers were actively participating in the nearby communities, and they shared their acquired knowledge with others. They learned about desert farming from their customs and traditions by collaborating with local communities. To equip farmers with knowledge and expertise, they organized seminars and classes. Farmers also create agricultural research centers where specialists can examine problems and generate new approaches. Formed through increased community involvement and information sharing, supportive networks of people working together changed the desert. Sharing of knowledge, the formation of relationships, and securing the future of desert agriculture were achieved through these coordinated efforts. The neighborhood was educated by farmers. They partnered with local communities and obtained insights into the desert farming methods employed by indigenous individuals. The knowledge and tools that farmers needed to succeed were provided through the courses and seminars that were set up. Farmers, additionally, create agricultural research facilities where professionals can analyze problems and devise new approaches. A collaborative group of people was formed by involving locals and spreading knowledge. The entire group was dedicated to improving the desert. This collaboration spread information, formed fresh partnerships, and ensured the future of farming in the desert. The farmers and the larger community gained from the opportunity to share knowledge and best practices. Attempting to alter the desert, the Australian farmers had a substantial and advantageous effect. Cultivating an area that was previously uncultivable allowed them to enhance agricultural output. Thus, farmers and residents in the adjacent areas obtained financial benefits which encompassed heightened prosperity and fresh employment openings. Additionally, they contributed to environmental preservation by utilizing sustainable farming strategies that enhanced biodiversity and reduced waste. This change emphasized the potential of desert agriculture, which prompted new approaches in other areas with similar climates. Better economic conditions, less environment. So, we hope you liked our video. Then, do share and subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell icon for more videos.